Alrighty, y'all. Hello and welcome. It is Friday. The weekend is upon us. You know, this is my favorite always. So we're going to have fun. I actually have multiple videos coming at you today, so be on the lookout. First up, of course, we're starting it out with, some funny bits, I imagine. Americans having trouble handling simple things in life while abroad. Yeah, this should be good.
Europeans are getting really sick and tired of the Americans going online and saying, Europe, Europe, Europe. We know, well, I don't know, I know. I think most of us know. I think most Americans know that Europe is a continent, okay? Most of us know that. When you see an American online talking about their European summer, darling, when we hear the word Europe alone, just the word Europe, oh, it is the bougiest flex on the people in our country. I'm telling you, I'm not defending any of it. I'm just trying to offer a layer of perspective.
What if I told you that most Americans visiting Europe walk away shocked, not by ancient castles?
You know, like, I feel the frightening part is there are certainly Americans that might think Europe is a country, right? We all know that some of our education system downfalls, right? We know about them. We also know that some people are very ignorant and insular here, right? They just don't know anything outside of our borders here. It's pretty wild. I will say that, of course, many normal people would know that Europe is a continent. They probably can't name every country in Europe, you know, not a big deal, right? They might not be able to point out Slovenia or Ukraine or Latvia immediately on a map, right? They might be able to point out England or France, but you know what I'm saying? Like, people know stuff, but of course, world kind of topics aren't our strong suit here. But that's not to underestimate how many intellectually lacking people there are here, right? Also, you know, I think just over here, you know how things are over here, right? Everything is social media and movies all the time and sports, and anything outside of here is usually not super important on, you know, daily topics for a lot of people. So they tend to generalize things, and an easy generalization is just Europe, right? I hope that kind of makes sense, but then again, it's not an excuse.
Or cobblestone streets, but by the ice cubes, or rather, the lack of them. From smaller meals and slower dinners to tipping confusion and outlet meltdowns, Europe feels like a different world to a lot of Americans. Today, we're breaking down 7 major culture shocks Americans face when visiting Europe.
What is this video playing? As an American's first time in Europe, what a culture shock this is. Stairs? And buses? Like, I know we don't have great public transportation at all in the U.S., but we definitely have buses everywhere. It's just most people don't take them. Also have stairs. We also have stairs to get off an airplane. Like, that does happen. It doesn't happen much. Usually you go through, like, the tunnel that they attach. I know there's a name for it, and the name escapes me, but, you know, there's usually something that attaches the plane. You walk through that into the airport terminal. But you know, sometimes you do have to get off on the tarmac, so to say, right? What are they talking about here?
And I'm asking you, is it culture shock or perspective shock? Let's dive in.
Coffee in England is actually pretty good. Like, it's really good. The problem is it's in children-sized cups. I want to enjoy and sip on my coffee, not sip this in 2 sips and it's gone. And it was expensive. It's freaking £6.
The first thing Americans notice throughout Europe, the food looks smaller.
Whoa, hold up. Now, remember, I don't eat McDonald's here. I don't recommend it if you visit. It's not the best. But I have heard McDonald's is pretty decent in some other countries. I'm already seeing this. What are these magnificent-looking curly fries? We don't have those at McDonald's here. That's kind of cool. I wonder where this is at. It does look like Europe from the plates out here. It looks like almost yellow plates, so maybe it's... Don't the Dutch have yellow plates? Also, the UK, I think. Could be one of those.
The bucket of soda, the value meal.
That's a large Coke. Oh, my God. Yeah, that is different. Again, this is much more reasonable. And this is certainly something I wouldn't complain about, but it is funny. It is funny. Just because our large Coke would be 3 times the size of that.
The
I
size of
feel
your
like.
forearm, portions abroad are meant to satisfy, not sedate.
What is
Meals
that
are
thing?
smaller,
That's kinda cool.
balanced, and not always drowning in cheese
Come on,
or
how can you hate
sauces.
that?
But here's the kicker. Europeans don't leave hungry. They leave content. Meanwhile,
How is this coffee? It's literally white.
in the US, we've normalized 1,500 calorie snacks and call it convenience. It's not that the food is tiny, it's that America
That guy's maybe has really big hands, but yeah, those sandwiches do look small.
everything and never looked back.
I feel like there's some illusion going on there. Or, I hate to say it, guys, maybe I'm just, I'm much more cultured. I try to be, and I try to learn about other places. I'm very interested in other places other than the U.S., but I'm still American. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like some things I can't escape it. I feel like these sandwiches are hilariously
are
small.
Americans obsessed with value or just addicted to quantity over quality?
All right, quick question for Europeans. What's your beef with iced coffee? Why can't I find a cold brew anywhere? How come when I ask for you to put ice in my coffee, you look at me like I'm covered in vomit? Or you put 1 ice cube in there? There are 3 ice cubes in this. As far as I'm concerned, this is a hot coffee.
Nothing can
I mean, damn, that guy kind of sounded a little bit triggered, no?
In there. There are 3 ice cubes in this. As far as I'm concerned, this is a hot coffee.
nothing
Look, man, like, I know there's going to be... Do people not realize that there's going to be a lot of differences when you travel? Comparing differences is fun. I mean, that's what my channel's about. Like, I love seeing differences and similarities when they're shocking, right? But, dude, it's nothing to get triggered over, man. You know what I mean? Like, embrace the new place, embrace the new style of drinks, right? Find out what's good, what they recommend, and try it out. The tone that people have sometimes is like, dude, so entitled, man. Come on, bro.
confuses Americans more than ordering a Coke in Europe and getting barely 3 sad ice cubes. In the US, we want drinks practically frozen solid.
Yeah.
In Europe, ice is almost offensive. There's logic behind it. Some Europeans believe ice waters down flavor, and they don't want
Makes
to pay
sense.
for frozen water instead of drink. But for Americans, a warm Coke feels downright criminal. Getting iced coffee in your
I like how they give you, we've seen this before, you get a bowl of ice and then you have to put it in there.
Europe is basically a scavenger hunt. Most cafes just don't serve drinks over ice, so your usual iced latte might not exist. When you ask, you often get a confused look or a tiny splash of milk in a glass at room temperature. For Americans used to ice-cold caffeine on demand, it can feel like a full-on morning crisis. Could you survive a European summer without your daily iced coffee fix? Or is that a non-negotiable? This isn't just about ice, it's about
I don't know. Call me crazy. I feel like if you prefer iced coffee with all the fixins in the U.S., okay, so be it. Wouldn't you want to try something else, right? Like, that's the whole point of traveling. When I travel, I want to try new things, right? I don't want to go get a Mountain Dew and French fries. Like I'm just trying to come up with like some super Americanized meal combo, right? Like, you want to try new stuff. Being an iced coffee girl in Europe feels like committing a minor cultural crime. Like, yeah, dude, like, try something different.
mindset.
How many
America
thousands
loves
of those have you
fast
had in
and
the
cold.
U.S.?
Europe prefers slow and intentional.
Okay, a huge difference between Americans and Italians when it comes to food is that Americans do not slow down and Americans basically don't stop moving. I mean, perfect
That's true.
examples are that we constantly walk around with like a gallon of water. Our Starbucks coffee is constantly with us. This is stuff you never see in Italy. But even food in general, like, we eat anywhere. Like, you see people eating in their car, you see people eating at their desk at work, you see people literally eating as they're walking down the street. You see people pulling snacks out of their purse. This is stuff that you see way less when you're walking the streets in Italy. Let me give you a funny example that I didn't even realize this until my husband told me. He's never went to Starbucks and put the lid on his coffee. First of
This one's actually a good one because it gives you a little bit of perspective if you're not from the U.S., why people seem to be kind of on the go and in a rush all the time. It does seem off-putting and kind of weird, kind of rude maybe, that we're always in a hurry. We're always taking drinks and coffee on the go. And honestly, it is pretty frustrating. But this even kind of reminds me a little bit, like, I feel like it does stem from school and then jobs growing up, right? Unfortunately, it sucks that it's this way. I feel like it's just a bad culture here. But we have to be always on the go, right? I remember at multiple jobs I had years and years ago that you just are working all day and then you get like half an hour. That's it, 30 minutes to eat. And in that 30 minutes, you had to travel like big distances to go access your lunch, to go to the bathroom. You know what I'm saying? Like 30 minutes is absolutely no time. Right? That's just no time. You had to literally jog around like a crazy person to make use of your lunch, to have time. I'm someone who can't really sit down and eat fast either, because my body doesn't respond well to that. I don't know. I remember it was very miserable to kind of go through that all the time. And so people are just trained to just always be in a hurry. And I think it comes from, a little bit of a toxic work culture. You always got to work, and everything's got to be fast and got to be done now. And even school, you barely get time, right? Like this says, we had 25 minutes from the bell to go to lunch, and of course the bell to be back. So you had to, again, even in school, you had to go across the school to the cafeteria, take a bathroom break if you needed it, and then of course eat. And you had to be back in the classroom when that second bell rang. It's not like the bell rang, then you went back. No, you had to you had to do all of this within 25 minutes, which is just insane. Of course, you stand in line to get the food 5 or 10 minutes. You see what I mean? It's just not cool. And this is what this says. I just realized I wasn't showing you the correct screen. But yeah, you could see how the American experience is here.
My husband totally ordering an espresso, but sometimes he will just order a small coffee. He never puts that lid on it. He's never even drank out of it before, because he doesn't move with his coffee. Italians either stand there and have their espresso or sit down and have their espresso, but
Makes
they're never
sense.
like on the go. You definitely get the
Sounds
vibe in Italy
nice.
that eating is a relaxing thing, drinking is a relaxing thing,
be.
a time to socialize,
It should
sit down.
be.
And in America, for most of the day, most people are like just trying to get some food in. The only food that I really commonly see Italians walking around with would be a gelato after dinner during their after dinner stroll. Comes to food, if you want to do it like an Italian, just slow down and stop moving, unless it's a leisurely stroll.
And I almost feel like that's healthier physically and of course mentally, right? I mean, eating probably shouldn't be done during a stressful episode, during, combining stress with speed. I feel like that's not good for your body, for your digestion. I wish that kind of thing would be rethought of here as a society in the U.S.
America, you sit, order, eat, pay, leave. In Europe, you sit, talk, linger, enjoy.
I like
Dining
that.
in Europe isn't a transaction. It's an experience. Waiters don't rush you out because turning tables fast isn't the goal. And here's what
very
really
annoying
blows
here.
Americans' minds. You have to ask for the check. It's not just slapped down.
That's amazing. That the fact that you can not be bothered, that you literally can sit for 3 hours is mind-blowing, right? I mean, I've said this before. I don't usually have issues here with like literally being kicked out. But at the same time, as I say that, the more I think of it is I try to take my time, if my wife and I go out to eat. But naturally, because we're Americans, I feel like we do kind of quote unquote rush along. Like we might sit down for an hour and eat and talk. But then again, I don't feel like I've never really been there more than an hour or an hour and 20 minutes. Sitting for 3 hours, I feel like that would not happen. So like, while I'm saying, we don't get rushed out, I think that's a little overstated. Maybe it's not overstated, because if I actually tried to sit there and hang out for like 3 hours like you would do in Europe, I feel like that wouldn't happen. They'd be like, yo, get out of here. Like we need that table open for more paying customers. The best part is when they drop the bill off, right, as you're still eating, and they say, no rush. Absolutely rushing you to get to the next table. This is pretty cool. She's comparing her lunch break, right? In the U.S., she's eating a $25 salad, which is expensive, by the way, but entirely too common. and she's on a 20-minute lunch break. So gotta love that. Drop it $25. You have literally less minutes than dollars cost to scarf it down. Meanwhile, in wherever she's at in Europe here, fresh pasta, presumably really healthy and great tasting. Hour-long lunch, €7. Hard to argue with that. Seriously, you guys win on that. Why isn't that normal everywhere else? That is beautiful.
I'm gonna try Brooks Shark hair tool in the European outlet. We heard that it blows up.
Oh, wow.
Whatever, the voltage is different, so we're gonna see
Let's try it out. We heard it blows up. We're going to try it out. All right, let's see.
if it works. We're gonna try here. So, okay, we'll try it. Oh, it works. It works? Yeah. Fire up. Maybe it's a myth.
Well, that was
Or maybe it's
anticlimactic.
because the hotel has different voltage. We'd probably blow up our place for sure. Our house would blow up. Oh yeah, look at that.
Every American in Europe has
What am I watching? Gotta love the American young woman vocal fry there.
that same meltdown moment. You pull out your phone charger and it doesn't fit. Welcome to the
Well-
world of different outlets.
Welcome to the world, actually. The world. Yeah, go figure. Infrastructure is different in different countries. What an interesting concept. Guys, why aren't you like America? Why doesn't the rest of the world conform to one country's citizens? You guys are so selfish.
Most of Europe uses 220 volts instead of 110. Different
Yeah.
shape, different size, different system. And every time Americans think, why can't the world just pick one? But Europeans argue
Gotta love it.
they picked first. The US just never changed.
Yeah, good
It's
point.
one of those perfect
that.
metaphors.
And to me, I find it fascinating. I wouldn't find it frustrating. Because I expect things to be different. I would find it fascinating. I've done videos on plugs from different countries before because I do. I think it's very interesting how different some of them are. Not to mention, we've seen videos, actually, when you take these apart, there's many simple ingenuity things with European plugs that are just better. Again, if the American one was better, I would say so. It's just, unfortunately for me, the fact is European plugs are better. Not to mention, people say they're sturdy, they're firm, like they should be, right? Our plugs are very flimsy, right? You plug things in, and it's kind of weird. It's like you can really gotta make sure it's in there because it just, if you bump it once or after just a while, it seems to work its way out. It's really annoying. It should be in there pretty firm.
America built its own system, refused to adapt, and now acts confused when the rest of the world doesn't match. Should the world agree on one universal outlet or keep their national systems?
Did nobody
Wow.
warn me that there's no AC in Europe? Like, I feel like I'm baking on a daily basis. I feel like I'm about to be a heat casualty out here.
And finally,
come
the deal
on.
breaker for many Americans.
Damn, she is
no
sweating
air conditioning.
bullets.
Europeans will open a window, use a fan, and call it a day, while Americans melt into puddles wondering how anyone survives summer without central AC.
No air conditioning in the stores.
Now, I will admit, if it's one thing when you're outside, like that's just being outside. It's another thing also if you're in hotels or houses or Airbnbs or whatever, and there's no AC like you're used to in America. It is what it is, right? I mean, you should know that places are different. I will say the one thing that would bug me a little bit is vehicles. Now, when you're in a vehicle, you're in a smaller space, whether that's a car, train, right? Anything like that. I feel like it hits a little harder when it's hot and sticky in there. So it showed like the train with no AC, though I'm pretty open. As an American, that would be rough. I don't know how y'all survive trains with no air conditioning if it's really hot out. Everything else should be okay, though, and I feel like people just enjoy yourself, right? I feel like there's ways you'll survive, right? You'll survive. Not everything has to be blasted with AC.
No air conditioning
Unfortunately,
in your home.
it's
Okay, no air conditioning in the bus is a crime.
It would be rough. I understand
why
that.
it's this way in Lucerne.
I am melting.
But here's the thing. Buildings are older and constructed with thick walls designed to naturally regulate temperature. Energy costs are higher, and there's more concern about sustainability. Meanwhile, Americans crank AC year-round and freeze themselves in July. So when Europeans visit the U.S., they're the ones shivering. Be honest. Could you survive an entire Euro summer without AC?
Yes, I could.
So, after all this, who's
It would be different, but you have to understand it's going to be different. And again, it's really not the end of the world. It's really, you can't expect countries to be like, you know what? Some Americans are coming over for vacation. Let's just install AC everywhere. Like, that's not happening. Like, unfortunately, it's one of those things you just kind of got to get over it, right?
really strange? Europeans with smaller meals, slower dinners, and no tipping? Or Americans who need everything bigger, colder, faster, and more convenient? Maybe neither. Maybe it's just two versions of comfort, one built on efficiency, the other on experience. But here's what's undeniable. Americans travel expecting the world to feel like home, and when it doesn't, they think the world's broken. What's the biggest culture shock you experienced abroad, or the most
Very well put.
ridiculous one you've seen Americans freak out about?
I mean, these were pretty tame. They were funny. I feel like there's a lot more people just losing it over somewhere be different than home. Go figure, right? Let's look at some more.
Oh, what's up, dude? Can I get some water with this dinner, please? Wait, what? What do you mean with gas or without gas? I just want water. Can't I just have water? Wait, you mean you don't have tap water? What?
I'm pretty sure they probably
$4.50 for a bottle
do.
of water, dude? What? I mean, I guess then I'll just have without gas or something. I don't know. I just have normal water. I don't want water in a bottle. Just do that. That's fine, dude. Okay? Wait. Why are you giving it to me in this small glass?
Oh my God. Oh.
And, like, do you guys have ice cubes or anything like that? No, ice cubes, dude.
This has got to be
95
real
degrees
interactions.
outside. What? 35 degrees? I don't even know. I don't know what you're talking about, dude.
This is
Can I
so
get some
accurate.
ice if that's possible, dude.
It's got to be.
You don't have any ice either? Okay, well, okay. Goodbye. Yeah, ciao.
What is the American guy going to do? What are they going to do? It's the glasses for me. I feel like this is definitely how an American would still dress. POV, you're an American trying to find still water. Okay, this is a funny one. I'll tell you why. I am probably on the rare side over here in the States because I love bubbly water, sparkling water, right? And I realize that's pretty common in European countries usually. So that's right up my alley. I love it, right? I would be set. Most people, including my wife, she loves still water, right? Hates sparkling water. Now, as you know, if you've watched my channel before, we usually go shopping at a legitimate European store for our groceries. And so it's a European market, all imported stuff. Nothing's in English. It's like really cool, right? And naturally, 90%, and I mean 90 to 95% of their water inventory that you could choose from is all sparkling water. And so I love it. And she always grabs one of the singles on the go, you know, on her way out. I think 8 or 9 times out of 10, she ends up with sparkling and is like, no, like she's so pissed, you know, because she grabbed the wrong one. So this is actually very relevant, to me. Is reading labels forbidden? Well, I mean, if the label's in a different language, that's a little bit of a problem at first. I mean, you can always translate it, but someone said if you shake the water, it'll always bubble. And that's kind of true because even if it's still water, you can make it bubble. So you really actually got to know what you're looking at.
Bad thing about having an American-sized car in Europe is I don't fit places all the other cars fit. So I have a Lincoln Navigator, and
Oh my God. She's driving a Lincoln Navigator? Where at in Europe is this? It doesn't say in the description. Oh my goodness. How did she get do they sell Lincoln Navigators in European countries? I didn't even know they did. Maybe she imported it somehow? If she is American that moved over there? I don't know how all that works, but that is a big SUV. Even here on our streets. I mean, yeah, they're common, but like that's a big SUV. I can't imagine that being a nightmare in any city in Europe.
I come to the bus stop to get the boys.
Yikes.
And I go down a one-way road. I could go the other way, but it's a little bit longer. Like this is a shorter way to come down the one-way road. But anyways, today I was coming down it, and there was an ambulance and a police car.
Oh,
that must have been an
no.
emergency of some sort. Like I heard the sirens going when I was driving down here. But the way the cop was parked on the one-way, he was like kind of in the middle of the road, and then there's a parked car over here, so it's like this, and the car in front of me was able to squeeze through, but it's a little German car, and then you have my giant Lincoln Navigator.
Oh, hell
and
no.
Big Bitch did not want to fit through that little tiny little
Of
opening.
course not.
So I like pulled up in between them, like my nose, and I like, I don't think I'm gonna fit. I'm not very good with that perception. So I was like, I'm not even gonna try, because knowing my luck, I would hit one of the cars.
Oh, hell yeah, you don't want that.
So I sat there, turned my hazards on, and I sat there and I just patiently waited. I'm like, maybe the cop will turn around and see me. And he did, thank God. So he came over, he apologized, he moved his car out of the way, and he let me through because they were already dealing with the emergency, so he didn't need to be blocking the whole road. So I was able to get through. But that is one thing about having an American-sized car over here in Europe is she don't fit everywhere. If we go anywhere that has parking garages, I cannot go in a parking garage.
In Europe? Did she say in Europe? Yeah, parking garage is not going to happen either. Even when you have a big truck or SUV, honestly, parking garages, some of them, even here in the U.S., they don't fit in. It's honestly sucks. Like if you live in a city, you just shouldn't be having a big SUV or truck. Thankfully, when I live in the Chicago area, but I live outside of the city, so where I'm at, you can get away with having a bigger vehicle, but that's why I don't take any big vehicles downtown Chicago, because even there, it's going to be a nightmare. I can't even fathom having a Lincoln Navigator in any European city. That's just like a recipe for failure.
Too tall and too wide for parking garages. We learned that the hard way when we were in England. I had a mini Dodge Caravan, so a minivan. And
that would be a little better.
It into a parking garage, I should say, and it got a nice little scratch on the side of it. So I was like,
even
no,
that was too big.
We are not taking a Navigator in any parking garage. I don't care. It's not happening. So we just have to find parking lots or street parking, which is a pain in the ass. But that's one of the downsides to having an American car over in Germany. However.
Oh, okay, she's in Germany. Look, no judgment. People do what they want to do. I wonder why. Like, I don't know her story. I don't know how she's in Germany, if it's military, if it's whatever. I have no idea. But I just wonder why go. Like, I'm imagining the means necessary to have a Lincoln Navigator in the first place in Germany, and I'm wondering why it's worth it, right? Why not just get a local hatchback or a station wagon, right? I don't know why the Navigator in Germany? Why? I feel like it's just not worth the trouble. I'm gonna cut it there. That was some Americans having a little bit of issues handling some simple things about life in the European countries. I hope you enjoyed that. It is Friday. I hope your weekend's going to be awesome. Maybe I'll even see you in another video. I'm doing a couple today, so pretty excited. I appreciate you watching, and it's going to be it for this one. My name is Ian. You're watching IWrocker. Until next time, y'all. Catch you later.